Hello and welcome to Harmony in the Hustle. I'm so glad you are here today. So, today's episode is part two of last week's podcast, where I spoke about how you can have success in 6 months with a mastermind. And I believe that 6 months was such a great time for me to achieve awesome things. It's not too long, it's not too short. And in 6 months, you can achieve great things if you really stay focused. And one of the biggest things I got out of running, being part of a mastermind called the Queen's Table with Erika Cramer, the Queen of Confidence, what I found was I didn't procrastinate and I got things done because I knew we only had a short period of time. So today I'm going to talk about my goals for 2025 because everything that I learned last year was basically building the foundations, figuring out my brand, figuring out my, what I'm speaking on, my message, who I'm serving, all of that. A lot of work went into that. And now I'm launching. And so I'm so excited. I know that I ran my event in November last year, 2024, and that was a great success. And I've also had some one-on-one personal coaching that I've been doing with some of my clients, which is going really, really well. But this year, I've set some pretty big goals, and I wanted to share those with you because it's always great to put your goals out there and share them with people and let people know what you're doing because you never know where it can go. And when you talk about what you want to do and what you want to achieve, then you're attracting that into your life as well. I'm a big believer of that. So, this year is all about, if I reflect on, the power of that mastermind, I did that last week, how the 6 months was able to set me up and it really gave me a really great foundation to be able to start this year. And then the goals that I've set for this year is, look, I am committing to speaking on stages. I am focusing a lot on my keynote speaking career. And I've put a lot of time and effort into that, putting my keynotes together, thinking it through, being very strategic about how I'm, going to be standing out, how I'm pitching myself and everything that comes with speaking. And so this year, I have set a goal that I am going to be speaking on 20 big stages. Now, some of those stages that I'm going to be speaking on will be paid gigs and some I'll be sharing my content and wisdom in different places and some of them won't be. And that's okay. It's all about standing up, putting myself out there and learning from my lessons and experiences and sharing my wisdom. And the more that you do speaking, the more that you put yourself out there and the more that you speak on your message and sharing that, the more opportunities that will come to you. And that's the more chance of people understanding who you are, what you do, and what your brand is all about and who you are. So I'm so excited about setting that goal, and I've already locked in a couple of speaking gigs already. So like I said, when you start putting it out there and letting people know, then you start to attract some big things too. So I'm very excited to say that that's already started to happen. Next week, I'm flying to Las Vegas for a mastermind. I'm part of a group also called the $1 Million Masterclass with Eileen Wilder. And she is another incredible woman, mentor, business coach. And she talks a lot about being able to, have masterclasses, and then you go into building yourself these workshops. And then she also has a speaking school that she runs as well. And when I go over there next week, it's a 2-day event that I'll be going into with this mastermind. And I've also been invited to speak and to share my keynote. So I'm bringing it down into a condensed amount of time. It's always nerve-wracking to do that because you really want to make sure that you deliver a great keynote in a period of time that makes sense and that you can, inspire and educate and, share your message. So I'll be doing that in front of this group. Some really amazing people will be in the room for that too. So I'm just going to be putting myself out there because you never know who's there, who hears you speak, and then the next door might open and the next person goes from there. From that, I haven't even been there yet. I've already been invited onto a podcast that I'm going to be interviewed on from one of the girls that are also part of that masterclass in the States too, and she's got a really big podcast following. So I'm really looking forward to that too. So that's all happening next week. Another thing I'm going to be doing this year is really embracing my podcasting. And really looking at bringing on incredible speakers. I've been doing a lot of my podcasting myself and sharing my wisdom and my story and my expertise on my podcast, Harmony in the Hustle. However, this year, I'm going to be doing a lot of interviewing. So I'm going to be having some amazing guests on here. I've already got 2 women lined up in the next few weeks, which will be unreal. Like, these women are awesome. They're powerhouses. They have, incredible messages. They're already making, big waves in the world. They're speaking on stages. They're running events. They're big time. They're making, they're just living their purpose. And I just know that when they share their stories, that you're going to achieve, you're just going to get so much out of it, because these are the things. Everybody loves the underdog story. When people share their stories about their struggles, okay, so this was their problem. Nothing ever was easy. And then they found their solution, and this was the payoff. And these are the people they've helped. And this is how they were able to get out of their, circumstances. And this was the struggle they went through. And this is the things that they overcame to be able to become the person that they are today. See, it's the underdog story. It's the process that you go through to become this person. And that's what people want to hear. They want to know, what did you go through? How did you go from A to B to be where you are today? Because that's the thing that people can relate to. And that's the thing that, changes in people's lives, because they're inspired by that. And they can also see themselves in that too. And they think, gosh, if you were able to do that, and you had that go on your life, and you were able to change your circumstances and have this success and be the person you are today, that I can do it too. So it inspires people when you share your story. So my goal this year is to empower women, is to run these workshops as well. And I've got 3 of them lined up this year already. And I'm going to be talking a lot more about that during the year, and, inviting people to come along to these workshops. And it's really about breaking through limiting beliefs, figuring out what people want, because I'm a big believer of the fact that, I don't care what age you are. I don't care what your background is. I don't care what you're, if you feel that you're too late or you're too old. None of that. I don't believe in any of that. I'm 52 years old. I'm 53 this year, and I have pivoted again. You know that I've spoken a lot about the fact I sold my restaurants last year, and I was in the hospitality industry for nearly 7 years, and it was a completely different world. I did not know anything about it before I stepped in there. I became extremely resourceful. I learned so much. There were so many things that I failed at, but I learned a lot. My life lessons that I got out of that is what I share today. So in so many ways, I feel, I need to be sharing what I learned there, because that was the catalyst to a lot of my success. It forced me to become resourceful. It forced me to become resilient. And those skills that you learn, see, the skills pay the bills. When you can learn some skills, they will absolutely change your life. It's like the arrow in your bow. It's another arrow you can pull out. You got a skill in there. You got a skill here. And you're just constantly learning and learning. The skills will pay the bills. And these workshops I'll be running are going to be for women that are wanting to break through, like I said, limiting beliefs, focusing on what they want to achieve, figuring out what they want to do, and then we can, help them move through to the next process as well, to start your business, which is what I'm doing at the moment. And a lot of my coaching, the one-on-one coaching, is helping women almost from the basics, figuring it out and getting them started and moving on. So, at least they say, Anthony Robbins talks about progress. The happiest people in the world are the people that are making progress. So if you can see yourself making progress and getting somewhere, the happier you will be. It doesn't have to be huge, big jumps. Sometimes it can just be these small steps along the way. I'm committing to doing a TED Talk. I want to do that this year as well. That's a big one, but that is on my goal to tick that off. I want to be able to stand there, deliver my keynote as a TED Talk, and get that done as well. I know that, the impact that can give, the confidence that gives you, and it just helps you to become such a better speaker and deliver, really, really great content in a short period of time. Personal growth. I'm committing to more personal growth. I'm reading more. I'm listening to more podcasts. I'm journaling like I've never done before. And the other thing I'm talking about and focusing on this year is my health, my self-care. And, I've always been somebody that has worked out a lot. I've looked after my health, but this year I'm going to focus a lot more on wellness. And last year, like I'm 52, I'm in full blown menopause. I've never really spoken a lot about menopause, but I'm going to be doing more of that as well. I'm going to be sharing my story as well around that because, I certainly didn't find going through perimenopause to where I am now in menopause easy, and so many women, friends of mine, we're all going through it. You'll go through it. If you're a female, you're going to go through it. Some will glide through it and others will not. And it will just be trying to figure out what's best for them. And, one of the things I did last year was I went on HRT, and it was one of the best things I did. And I wasn't sure whether or not I should go on HRT. I did a lot of research about hormone replacement therapy. I spoke to a lot of people. I had my blood work done. I figured out where I was lacking. I really had no estrogen in my body. My progesterone was very low, and I knew I needed to do something. I got to say, I wasn't depressed going through a lot of this stuff, but I wasn't happy and I wasn't sad. I was just this feeling of numb, like just lost. Like I just kept thinking, gosh, what is wrong with me? How can I get out of this slump? How can I feel better? And so I spent many months trying to figure out how I can start to feel better in myself, in my hormones. And that was the process that I went through, which I'll share more about down the track. But definitely, wellness. I get up every morning. First thing, I go into a sauna and I do about 45 minutes in the sauna. I do stretches and I do weights. Women in their 50s, even 40s, late 40s should be lifting weights. And then I go from the sauna straight into my pool. And again, I'm going to be sharing more about my process that I do each day. And it's just a routine that I have, and it sets me up for the day. I go straight into a cold pool. I can't believe it myself. I never would even go into cold water before. My husband and my son are very impressed that I can do that, but it helps. I come out and I feel fantastic. And there's more to my morning that I do, but that's the first part of it, and it really, really helps me. And I am putting together my bullet points for my second book. I don't have the title. I have an idea of how it's all going to come together. A lot of people around me are writing books at the moment, and I'm inspired by that. I've written a book before called The Second Wife's Guide, which did really, really well. And that was all about blended families and being my husband's second wife and helping women navigate through those tricky situations and, being a step parent and all that type of thing. And today I'm going to be sharing more about my story, leadership, resilience, resourcefulness, everything that I've learned along the way. So I can't wait to, start to dig into that, because it's something that I love writing. I love journaling, and I just want to be able to put that into a really great book that I can share in the world, because I think reading and books are just, a big part of your success in life. So I'll be working on that too. So they are my goals this year. I've put them out there. I've written them down. I'm reading them every day, and I'm focusing on just step by step moving forward with these goals. And I just encourage you to write down your goals, make them big, dream big. You can achieve so many great things in 1 year if you figure out what you want and you become very, very intentional every day to move forward to those goals. They say if you aim for the moon, and if you miss, don't worry, you'll be amongst the stars. So I really encourage everybody to dream big. Write down your goals. What have you got to lose? And go for it. You never know where it will take you. And the minute you start putting things out there, like I said, I put out there that I wanted to do a lot more keynote speaking this year, and boom, I've already had 2 big offers that have come through. So on big stages, and I can't wait. So I'll keep you posted with everything that happens in Las Vegas at this mastermind next week. It's going to be awesome. And I just will share everything that I learn. And, I know it's going to be just a fabulous time. I'm also taking my mum with me on this trip. I'm trying to do some things with my mum, my parents as well as I go, just have that, it's great company, but just bringing mum along, to Vegas. We're going to go see Mariah Carey as well. I saw that she's in town, so we booked some tickets to see that. So a lot more fun this year too. I haven't said that. I actually wrote that down. I actually haven't said that out loud, but I am focusing on having more fun this year. Not so serious. There's work time that is, we're getting that done, which is a serious part of it, focusing on pitching and doing the work that you've got to do, doing the hours. However, I also want to have more fun as well. So I'm all for it. I'm here for it. So I hope you enjoyed that episode. And yeah, just encourage you to write down your goals as well. And if you think that this is something that one of your friends or, would benefit from this, I'd really love you to share this as well. So see you soon. See you in the next episode. Bye for now. much for tuning in to another episode of Harmony in the Hustle. I hope today's episode filled you with inspiration, gave you some tips you can turn into action, and helped you find a little more harmony in your life. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who could use a bit more harmony in their hustle too. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe so you can stay updated with all the upcoming episodes. I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen. And until next time, stay in the harmony and remember, you've got this. See you next time.